Words Can Change Your Brain. Book by Andrew Newberg and Mark Robert Waldman. Learn the conversation strategies that can change your life. As human beings, we spend a huge amount of our lives communicating with other people in a variety of ways, ranging from verbal to nonverbal communication. And don't forget texting and emojis. With the wide range of communication options we have, you'd think we'd be great at getting our points across. But for most people, nothing could be farther from the truth. Words Can Change Your Brain 2012 aims to combat this universal difficulty by offering proven strategies to improve your communication skills. Introduction. We've all been there. That moment when you say something, thinking you've said the right thing, only to be met with a horrified stare from your conversation partner. Too late, you realize you've misspoken, you've made it awkward, or worse, you've offended them. And what might have been a successful and effective conversation now leaves you flustered and desperate to backtrack as you try to explain what you meant. There's no doubt about it. This is one of the worst feelings in the world. And unfortunately, it's all too common. But the authors assert that it doesn't have to be this way. Over the course of this summary, we'll explore the conversation strategies that can help you revolutionize your communication practices. Chapter 1. Why is communication so difficult? Have you ever thought of communication as an art form? Most of us haven't, and the authors observe that this is often where the problem starts. Because talking is something human beings do all the time, most of us assume that we're already gifted communicators. But the author's research affirms that communication and talking are two very different things. For example, just think about what it's like to communicate with a toddler. By the age of about 2 or 3 years old, most toddlers can put words together well enough to express themselves to a certain degree. They might not know the right words for some things, and it may be difficult to understand them at times, but they have the basic skills that are required to articulate what they want. Unfortunately, however, those basic skills aren't always quite enough to get the job done. Because no matter how much a toddler talks, if we don't understand what they're saying, it's impossible for real communication to happen. As any parent knows, frustrating meltdowns can quickly occur when your child is screaming a word over and over, and you don't know what they mean. The same is often true for adults who are trying to communicate. Unlike toddlers, we may know the right words, but adult communication issues typically occur when we fail to use the right words in the right way. So, that's why it's important to dedicate time to developing your communication skills. And it's especially important to begin by recognizing the difference between talking and communication. So, what does that look like in practice? Well, if you've ever snapped at someone in anger, or taken the brunt of someone's bad mood, you already know that in each case, a person might have been using words to communicate something, i.e. their displeasure, but they weren't practicing good communication skills. One of the key differences between talking and proper communication is if you're simply talking to someone, you might say whatever is on your mind, whether it's the right thing to say or not. For example, you might yell things like, "Stop that," "Come here," or "Are you an idiot?" Likewise, you might be tempted to use a number of very common but unhelpful phrases. Some key examples include phrases like, "Because I said so, you wouldn't understand anyway," "Never mind," and "Rules are rules." As you can see from simply reading these phrases, each of them have a negative, hostile, or accusatory tone. You might also have noticed that they are all shut-down statements. This means that they prevent a free and open exchange of information, rather than simply conveying an idea and inviting the other person to engage with what you've said. Each of the above phrases are commanding and provocative. It might help if you think of them as sit down and shut up phrases. If you're a parent or an employer, sit down and shut up phrases might sometimes be effective for the purpose you want to accomplish. In some cases, maybe you really do want someone to simply sit down, shut up, and get out of your way. But even if that's what you want, that's never a good way to communicate with someone. Because even if these phrases accomplish what you want in the moment, they damage your relationships with others and cultivate hostility. So, wherever possible, try to avoid using sit down and shut up phrases.